This melon has a unique story that's rooted in Montreal. It's called the Montreal melon, and it's been described as having a light taste, sweet, but not exactly like its other melon counterparts. It was a Montreal-grown delicacy once, but it disappeared for decades.
People in the United States, especially like high-end restaurants and high-end hotels in New York, Boston, Philadelphia, were ordering big shipments of the melon to serve to their guests, and it was very, very expensive to buy at those hotels.
Now the melon is making a comeback. Quick history lesson. The Jesuits brought the melon to Quebec in the late 17th century. It became very popular at the end of the 19th and early 20th centuries and was grown in what's now Côte-Des-Neiges, Outremont, and the Town of Mont Royal. It was known by a few names like the Montreal muskmelon and the Montreal nutmeg melon. Lavallée first heard the story of the mysterious melon about a decade ago and embarked on a quest to find out what happened to it.
The two most famous families that grew it were the Descaries family and the Gorman family.
And their melons actually looked different from one another. The Gorman one was more oblong and the Descaries was rounder.
When those people sold their fields to the city for highway construction or buildings, well, there was nobody else knowing all the secrets.
As the city and our food system became more industrialized, the Montreal melon became too expensive and labor-intensive to grow. By the mid-20th century, it had disappeared from the island. Until the 1990s, when a Montreal journalist wrote about the story. Then, a different Montreal journalist tracked down the seeds to a seed bank in the United States and gave them to a local farmer to plant.
So they were able to bring it back to life.
There were some doubts about whether the strain was in fact the authentic Montreal melon. At one point, someone who grew up eating the melon did some taste tests, and for years now, growers have been planting the seeds and selecting the best ones. Initiatives to bring back the melon have been popping up since it was rediscovered in the late 90s. It's even being grown at Montreal's old hippodrome site.
Here are our little melon crops. We don't really know what's going to happen, and there's a little bit of fun in the part of, oh, is it gonna taste good? Is it not?
You can't exactly find this melon at the grocery store or at most local fruit shops either, but you can buy the seeds online. We actually tried to find one to show you and have a taste for ourselves, but the melon takes about 90 days to mature, and some are only being planted now. Lavallée, who wrote an entire book about the Montreal melon, also sells kits that include seeds and a guide about how to plant it. They were so popular, they sold out this year in 48 hours.
We're not just eating a fruit, but we're eating a story. We're also growing like a part of Quebec history.
So how do you get your hands on a Montreal melon? Well, you can try buying the seeds online or see if there's someone who might be willing to share them with you. You can also try reaching out to a local grower to see if they're growing them too.